Right back here. Come on up. Give her a hand. She's coming up. She's running. She's making it fast. Here she goes. She's going to leap into the seat. No, you're fine. What's your name?
Ari.
Where are you from, Ari?
Charlotte, North Carolina.
Charlotte, North Carolina. And what is the best advice? Well, what best fit type are you?
ENFJ.
What's your best advice you've got?
I have so many things. The first thing I would say is slowing down and getting comfortable with being alone and finding something that allows you to let your mind just kind of run wild, which for me was finding your podcast a few years ago and going on walks with my dog or going to the gym and listening to that while my body is kind of distracted. But just being able to get comfortable with spending time with my thoughts and getting used to that and liking that. But also kind of attached to that, getting better at saying no. And not feeling obligated to spread yourself so thin energy-wise, whether that's just, making plans with too many people because you feel like you have to, or if you don't, you're letting someone down, and recognizing that if you need time to just breathe and recalibrate yourself to do that, and if people are good friends, they will understand that and they'll be okay with that. They'll understand that. And I think this is pretty specific, but finding people who challenge you to be more direct and honest. I personally have found myself drawn to TPs in particular, who will not only allow me to share thoughts that I don't feel comfortable or brave enough to share with a lot of people out of fear of how they're going to interpret it, but also will challenge those thoughts and give me honest feedback in a way that I think it's hard for a lot of people to do. And being aware that just because you might not receive feedback that is always positive, people want to give you feedback to help you grow. So being willing to take the information that you've received from others and use that to recalibrate, how you're making your decisions and make sure that you're checking in with yourself regularly, I guess, just to make sure that you're taking in all of the things you need to be taking in, but also trusting your own instinct, but finding people who you can practice being more honest and direct with rather than just extroverted feeling all over the place. Yeah.
So the first leverage point I heard you say is be willing to disappoint people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And discover through that process that people are usually not that disappointed.
Yeah. And if they are, most of the time I've realized they're not necessarily the people who are the ones that are going to stick around or need to stick around. Because if what I need to be healthy and do what's right for me is not something that they are accepting of, then I don't, I guess that's kind of another point, is being okay with and understanding that not everyone is going to be in your life forever. Not all relationships are meant to be maintained, which is really hard, I think. And I think as you get more comfortable with saying no to people and disappointing people, you'll start seeing pretty quickly, you'll start seeing the relationships that you thought were really important for a long time start to fade away. And that can be really, really hard to grapple with, because then you start to want to backtrack a little bit. But yes.
Yeah. And then the second thing I heard you say was spend time with people who will allow you to speak freely.
Yeah.
And will give you some pushback.
Yes.
And when you experience pushback from the people you're hanging out with,
which she came with 2 NTPs tonight.
I know.
I did.
When you experience that, and you said that you don't always feel comfortable expressing your opinions, what's the difference of expressing your opinion to somebody who's giving you that kind of pushback versus another kind of situation that has taught you not to express yourself? Like, why is that an okay situation?
I think in the times in the past where I didn't have people, or I thought maybe there were people I could try to be more honest with, and then I did so, and then received kind of just negative feedback or not, people didn't want that or they didn't challenge me at all. It either allowed me to keep doing things in a very uncalibrated fashion where it was, you know, detrimental to myself or to other people, that was not great. And so having people who push back and make me really take a harder look at the decisions I'm making and the judgment calls that I, you know, like, have you really thought about this? Like, or how are you not seeing that, you know, that what you did here was obviously going to impact this person this way, and whether or not you knew that, like, are you taking that into consideration actually when you're making your decisions? But also just to make sure that, you know, they push me. I think there are some times that I think I am being totally honest about something or about what I think. And then they're like, I'm pretty sure there's more there. Like, are you telling me everything? Like, are you telling me the whole truth? Like, what do you really think about this? So I think forcing me to really, really dig deep, because I think there are some times that I am under the impression I have gotten as deep as I can into what I'm really thinking about something, and then they've helped me dig and uncover even more. And I've learned a lot more about myself and my intentions.
So then what I surmised, and let me know if I've got this accurate, is find people who will let you speak your truth and then will workshop that thought belief with you, as opposed to people who you share your truth and they judge you for having shared it.
Yes.
Right.
100%. The workshopping of that is the part that is that's the gold. Because being able to talk through it and like really try to problem solve it with another person, that's it. That's something that I've really learned has helped me a lot.
Awesome. Thank you, Ari.
Thank you, Ari. Give her a hand. Let's get